record Moke. La Catrina. Mama Brigitte. 3000 BCE. Region. Akan regions of West Africa. Event. Early Akan belief systems define death as a guided transition rather than a final ending. Meaning. Death is understood as movement between realms. It requires oversight and authority. Consequence. The foundation is established for Moke, later known as Amoky, as a guardian of souls. 2800 BCE. Region. Akan cultural sphere of West Africa. Event. Funerary customs emphasize judgment, order, and ritual preparation. Meaning. The dead are evaluated before entering the ancestral realm. Consequence. Moke becomes associated with moral accountability and spiritual law. 2500 BCE. Region. West Africa. Event. Death rituals incorporate symbolic barriers and thresholds. Meaning. Passage into the afterlife is conditional, not automatic. Consequence. Moke's role solidifies as guardian of the boundary between life and death. 2200 BCE. Region. Akan oral tradition. Event. Stories describe a female authority presiding over the dead. Meaning. Death governance is feminized and tied to balance rather than violence. Consequence. Moke is remembered as impartial, feared, and respected. 2000 BCE. Region. Akan societies of West Africa. Event. Death is framed as continued participation in community life. Meaning. Ancestors remain present and influential among the living. Consequence. Moke's authority expands from gatekeeper to regulator of ancestral continuity. 1800 BCE. Region. West African belief systems. Event. Death becomes associated with protection rather than punishment. Meaning. The afterlife is seen as refuge, not exile. Consequence. Moke's image shifts from fearsome enforcer to stabilizing force. 1500 BCE. Region. Akan regions of West Africa. Event. Offerings and moral preparation become central to burial rites. Meaning. Conduct in life affects status in death. Consequence. Moke becomes associated with ethical remembrance and judgment. 1000 BCE. Region. West Africa. Event. Ancestral reverence intensifies across multiple societies. Meaning. Death is fully integrated into daily spiritual life. Consequence. Moke's role becomes permanent within cultural structure. 500 BCE. Region. Akan oral culture. Event. Moke's imagery stabilizes through repeated oral transmission. Meaning. Death is depicted as stern, orderly, and just. Consequence. Her authority becomes unquestioned across generations. 500 BCE. Region. Mesoamerica. Event. Indigenous cultures depict death through skeletal deities. Meaning. Death is visible, cyclical, and familiar. Consequence. The symbolic groundwork for La Catrina is established. 400 CE. Region. Central Mexico. Event. Death imagery becomes linked to ancestor remembrance rituals. Meaning. The dead are honored as continuing members of society. Consequence. Death becomes culturally normalized. 1500 CE. Region. Mexico. Event. Spanish colonization introduces Catholic death iconography. Meaning. Indigenous death traditions are suppressed but persist beneath the surface. Consequence. Native symbolism adapts rather than disappears. 1600 CE. Region. Colonial Mexico. Event. Indigenous and Catholic death imagery merge. Meaning. Death becomes a hybrid cultural expression. Consequence. The skeletal female archetype begins to re-emerge. 1700 CE. Region. Mexico. Event. Satirical skeletal figures critique social hierarchy. Meaning. Death exposes equality in mortality. Consequence. The proto-La Catrina figure takes shape. 1800 CE. Region: Mexico. Event: elegant skeletal women are popularized in print art. Meaning: death mocks wealth, class, and vanity. Consequence: La Catrina becomes a recognizable cultural icon. 1900 CE. Region: Mexico. Event: Day of the Dead celebrations elevate La Catrina's role. Meaning: death is framed as remembrance rather than fear. Consequence: La Catrina becomes a national symbol. 2000 CE. Region: Global. Event: La Catrina gains international recognition. Meaning: Mexican death philosophy enters global culture. Consequence: death is reframed as memory and continuity. 1700 CE. Region: Haiti. Event: African spiritual traditions merge with European folklore under colonial conditions. Meaning: death guardianship adapts to displacement and enslavement. Consequence: Brigitte emerges within the Gade spirits. 1800 CE. Region: Haiti. Event: Brigitte becomes associated with cemeteries and graves. Meaning: she protects the dead and enforces moral order. Consequence: death becomes guarded rather than abandoned. 1900 CE. Region: Haitian Vodou tradition. Event: fire and crosses become central to Brigitte's imagery. Meaning: death represents purification and protection. Consequence: she is feared by the unjust and trusted by the faithful. Late 1900 CE. Region: Western media. Event: Vodou death figures are misrepresented as malevolent. Meaning: death is falsely portrayed as evil. Consequence: Brigitte's true role is obscured. 2000 CE. Region: Haiti and diaspora communities. Event: cultural reclamation corrects misrepresentation. Meaning: death goddesses are reaffirmed as protectors. Consequence: Brigitte is restored as a guardian figure. Present day. Region: Global mythology studies. Event: comparative analysis of death goddesses across cultures. Meaning: death is governed, remembered, and regulated. Consequence: Moke, La Catrina, and Brigitte are recognized as stabilizing forces, not villains.